Previously on ESL One Birmingham.
What a dream way to begin the day.
And now, we continue. Get ready for the Birmingham Brawl.
It's time! There is no place like home. Universe goes down. Look at the swing.
Pasha coming in with the combo. GG is called.
ESL One Birmingham 2019.
All right, welcome everyone. This is ESL One Katowice, powered by Intel. We've got the NA quals here. We've got Test123 versus compLexity Gaming. I'm your caster Moxie. I'm here with the wonderful Jenkins Dota.
Thank you.
And how excited are you to cast these?
Kind. I'm excited. Like I was just saying, a lot of these players, we know them. We're from the NA region. Play a lot of pubs with these guys. Francis, for example, on Test123. I knew this guy before he was pro. Met him in Florida when I was on Leviathan. Like, there's a lot of history with a lot of these players. So, but like you said, it does also kind of suck that there's only one slot. you kind of want everybody to go, but you know
that is the hardest part. Once you start to get to know these players, you want them all to make it, and you want to see them all have a great time. But unfortunately, there's only one team that gets forward. So, let's dive into this draft now.
So we have Terrorblade picked up. That hero, I think at the start of the patch, it was falling off a little bit just because people assumed that with all of the other broken heroes that were basically added to the game, you know, Lich, Grimstroke added to Captain's Mode, that, okay, Terrorblade, probably pretty regular hero, but it turns out that this hero was just so strong in the previous patch that even now he's still one of the best carries. Just the fact that he can farm so much faster than any carry in the game, and also out-carry them in the late game.
Is he just safe, though, to pick him as a first pick here? Like, that seems a little risky to me. I don't know.
That is definitely risky. That's definitely an interesting pickup coming from Test123. I think it might have something to do with the fact that they just recently played in the minor qualifiers, and the team that won, Team, they highly favor Terrorblade. So maybe these guys are just thinking, okay, this team highly favors. They favor Darkseer very highly too, actually, and they were like crushing people with it. Maybe they just have a really good read on the patch that other people don't have.
That's true.
And I think that's interesting to see this team get basically demolished by Team, and now they're essentially picking the same style that they are.
I mean, that's funny. We were actually just discussing that, right? We were saying, you know, is this the year of IX Mike and Brax and Nisham and all them? Like, these are some like old NA boys that have been around for a while now, and they seem to be they figured out the patch pretty well.
I hope so, man. I hope so, man. Love those guys. Yeah, Druid, this hero, depending on the region, it's like top pick, top ban as a carry. I think it's an interesting hero because, like, if you look at the win rate, it's got the second lowest win rate in Dota across all brackets, but in Immortal bracket it's 50-something% win rate, which you would think like, oh, that's not that great, but the thing is, like, the hero's a very, very low win rate across all brackets. So when you're like, okay, you have a 10% extra win rate when you bring it into Immortal, you know that it's a really good hero. It's just it got a high skill cap. It's a hard hero to play.
So do you think one of the reasons why he's become just so very popular too is because the lifesteal balance between Lone Druid and the actual bear now? Yeah,
essentially, like, you never have to go back to base on Lone Druid because you just use the bear to lifesteal you up to full HP all the time. I think the fact that he has that new defender ability that's built into the bear. Just to give some like perspective, Spectre with Dispersion maxed out, and with the Dispersion talent, everybody thinks that hero is unkillable. 28% damage reduction. This hero with Defender, 30%. So he's basically got Spectre Dispersion with the talent maxed out, built into the bear, as long as the bear is alive. And of course, it doesn't return the pure damage, but it's still an insane amount of damage reduction. It feels like if you play against this hero in pubs, it does feel very, very hard to kill him, just because he takes so little damage. And then on top of that, like you said, the lifesteal. So he's got all the damage reduction, and then he's lifestealing for more, and then the effective HP that comes from lifesteal when you have damage reduction, tons of armor. It's he's a hard bear to trap, to kill, for sure. You know, bear traps or whatever.
Bear traps
I don't know,
all over the map, just bear traps. It seems like a pretty good draft so far coming out from compLexity. You've got the Brewmaster, which we've seen a lot of play, especially with that Cinder Brew. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, you know, some sort of fire-related hero coming out. We know that Limp plays one heck of a Lina.
They actually changed that now.
They did now? Yeah, it's all magic, right?
Any magic, because I think people on Reddit were complaining about it. And everybody knows when you complain about things on Reddit, things get changed. Like,
it's either that or Peter says something.
Right. Peter or Reddit. and things will get fixed.
And they listen.
Yeah. Like what was it? The Ricky. Everybody was complaining about Ricky. The hero had like a 43% win rate, and then it got nerfed because of Reddit. It's like, come on, guys.
And the hive mind is very powerful.
It is, you know. Got to balance around pubs as well. It makes sense.
Yeah. What's his next pick? Oh, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
This is a hero I've been spamming a lot of. That Sinister Gaze is insane. Like, the fact that you can take a hero that, you know, before it was really, like, kind of a babysitter, and now he can roam around the map and, like, get ganked.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually had places where just, like, you can solo kill someone once you get your 6 because you just make sure they're in a creep wave, you get the Sinister Gaze off,
exactly.
and it's low. It's nasty.
Right. It's like if they're around anything and you just gaze them with the Lich ulti flying, like, you'll hit them, like, 5 times with it, then they're going to die.
Yeah, it's very satisfying as a support to be able to solo kill, like, a core.
I think one of the big reasons this hero is so powerful right now is because, similar to Coddle as well, is because for a long time, Lich's ulti was getting buffed over and over again because it kind of sucked, and like he was basically
the wind up time on that used to be a big problem.
And the wind up time, and then it bounced so slowly, it didn't do very much damage. But now it's like incredibly broken, and then all of a sudden they reworked all of the other abilities that Lich was essentially balanced around, so that the new abilities are incredibly imbalanced, and now the ultimate is extremely powerful as well. So now you have this hero that was getting buffed in this one thing where like it wasn't his strong point. It became a strong point, and then they immediately made everything else about the hero also strong. So, and the same thing goes for Coddle. I think Coddle had the fact that he has the Chakra Magic and the Illuminate, really good for laning. That's a great counter to him though. And then now you have the Blinding Light on top of this ridiculous ultimate that he has. So once again,
the Will-O-Wisp. Oh my god!
It's just this hero that now has like 4 incredibly strong abilities. Every single hero that got reworked, minus maybe like Outworld Devour, who is getting picked up a little bit now. Most of these heroes are incredibly strong, just because the new abilities, there's nothing like them in Dota. They're completely unique for the most part.
For sure. And I mean, the other thing, too, you talked about micro and, like, having a high skill cap on the lone Druid Bear, but also, you know, having this Brewmaster and then having to keep into mind that there's a Lich, right? Because, yeah, you know, the Pandas, you know, they're going to get some bad, but, like, you really have to separate them from everyone else as well as separating them from themselves, too, if you get a good chain for us.
You just kill your whole team.
Exactly. So, like, that's actually such a good pickup on Test123 for a numerous number of reasons, but also, you know, just to create more chaos in these team fights.
Yeah.
So the Lich is going to have a big target painted on his back, I have a feeling.
Yeah, and then Nyx as well. Like, Pandas typically, they like to go Radiance in this patch, unless it's a support Panda, which is possible, especially with the Keeper of the Light. But
I've been seeing more and more of the support Panda.
I think that's a big reason that it's such a strong first phase pick, is because it's one of the, like, 4 or 5 broken offlaners right now. You have, like, Axe, Panda, Centaur +2. And then also you can run it as a 5, and it's perfectly fine because you can just trade so well with people in the lane with that the crit. What do they call it? Drunken Brawler?
Yeah, Drunken Brawler.
Is it still Drunken Brawler?
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure they changed the name of it. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You know, it just runs around, whacks people for a lot of damage. But yeah, I think he's really good just in the fact that you can run him in multiple roles. I mean, I've even seen people play Panda as mid too, and carry. You can run him in every role actually. This is like a crazy.
He's one
hero.
versatile Panda, yeah, for sure.
This was a hero that in the Chongqing major qualifiers, we were seeing the teams that were picking it, they were winning with it, and then it was immediately getting banned in the next game, and then the teams that weren't picking it would pick it eventually, win with it, and then it would get banned. Like basically in every single region, in every single series, it would make its way into the first phase pick, just because it's that strong.
That is a hero that I have not seen a lot of recently. Have you?
I saw in the China qualifiers. They were picking it a pretty decent amount. Ice was playing in SEA too, but
that's Ice though. This is that man and Timber go together like peanut butter and jelly.
It's actually in the same scenario that it's being picked in right now. It's for some reason teams seem to think that when you have pick, ban, and then pick, so like you don't have the last pick, that you can just pick up a Timber, essentially force the enemy team to have to counter the Timber Saw mid. Presumably you ban the OD if you're running the Timber, then it's like, okay, you have to pick something that can deal with the Timber. That way you're limiting them on their last pick. They can't just pick some, you know, Broodmother or Huskar, because they have to deal with the fact that the Timber Saw exists in this game. It's like a TA, the exact same thing. You pick it with the intention of like forcing the enemy team's hand. So it's like you have last pick, but guess what? Now you have to deal with this hero.
Oh, I think interesting strategy. I didn't think about it that way. It's being able to force that.
Yeah, it's a relatively like new concept, I think, that teams have been doing within the last few months. Oh, they actually opt to ban out the Ember Spirit, which is interesting because Ember Spirit is one of those heroes very much like Lina against Timber, where you do have magic damage to take down the Timber, but by the time you have enough magic damage to take down the Timber, if he's laning against you and he's in the mid lane having a good lane, he'll have a hood, and then you can't kill him anyway. You just don't have enough burst. So I assume that Test123 will probably pick up an OD just because it's like the go-to Timber saw counter, unless this is going to be a Timber off lane. We'll see with this last pick. Nyx is also very good against Timber. This was a great Nyx pickup for sure.
Yeah, anything with the mana burn or something to kind of... Oh, ooh, all right.
Okay.
All right. So then what are we looking at here for lanes?
Five line, presumably, probably with Lone Druid, relatively strong lane. Caudal Baru, I think, is super strong as well. Timber mid.
Timber's gonna be the mid. So
yeah,
limp Timber.
You could even run like let's say. Actually, I wouldn't want to run Timber against Darkseer. I think Darkseer would probably beat Timber. One of the few kind of melee guys that'll actually.
Yeah, with the magic damage coming off from Ion Shell.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to worry so much about having the reactive armor.
Right. Darkseer just doesn't care about like what Timber Saw does. But compLexity have very versatile lanes. They could run these heroes anywhere. Like Lone Druid can play mid, he can play off lane with the support, Timber as well, and Brew. I think if you're compLexity, you're actually just waiting to see what this pick is. If you're Test123, you basically have to run the Terra Blade as a safe laner, and then Darkseer is almost always an off laner as well. Who was that? Who's doing that?
I don't know, but I love it.
Let's see. Oh, of course.
You can check the chat, right?
Take a wild guess.
Oh, Francis.
Right. Who's the biggest clown in this game? That's why I'm glad that he's actually good, man, because that guy's such a clown. Oh, my God. You should hear him when I get him in pubs. We're just...
He probably doesn't want anyone to hear when he's like...
No, so many people mute us on the mic. We're just making, like, silly noises, doing jokes the whole game. It's
nice, nice, man.
It's very childish.
I wish I could do that. I wish I could just go... Like my big thing that I'm working on is I want to sound like Dark Willow. I want to learn that Dark Willow laugh. And like just say something ridiculous and then have someone like respond to me and like, say something back and then just start laughing like a maniac. Like that's
I could see you doing that.
I'm working on it. You called it. There it is.
You can rap, so I can see you doing that.
There's the Outhouse Destroyer.
Yeah, actually CC.
Whoa, what is this? Well. He looks like his Nyx Assassin looks like he's his cousin. What is this? What is this glance value?
Oh my God, dude. Come on, Valve.
Oh my God.
What is
so
this?
Triggered.
It makes sense.
Lion looks like he tried to cosplay like 5 different things.
Dude, this is a crazy line. Look at Timber too. What is this
happening?
game?
What is this game?
There's like a golden Terrorblade as well, golden Darkseer. The only hero that looks kind of normal is Lich.
I don't know. He's pretty crazy. Yeah, Lone Druid, Brewmaster kind of, but like. Oh.
This Timber Saw.
This is not the Dota 2 I remember of my youth.
This really isn't. I mean, the Lion set really is just...
Well, I feel like they didn't know what to do. Like, the one of the Immortals that they made for him just looks like a fishbowl. Like, they just placed on top of him. Yeah. Now he's just got,
Dude,
like...
CC&C just has a default OD. it's just,
come on, Quinn.
That's like the first hero he grinded to 8K. Like, when he first became, like, a sick Dota player. He went from, like, being that pub star to being, like, ranked 3
Clearly, you need to give this boy some cosmetics. Right, something ridiculous on them.
I can't afford that, man. He's got that land money. He can.
No, man. There's some common ODs. Like, give him something, right?
I don't know what he's doing. Like, this is his hero. It's like TA and OD, Ember. These are his heroes. He should have better items. Come on, Quinn. Callahan. Let's go.
Just call him out like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, you got to step up the cosmetic game. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So let's see. I'm interested to see where these lanes go for compLexity, because... And looks like Test123 are also curious, because they are potentially going to go for a smoke here, which is usually with the intent of scouting out lanes. So
this looks like a family. Like, look at the green colors on Ritsu, on Flea.
Who's the mom of this?
That is a good question. I don't know.
Honestly, OD kind of...
You think OD would be the mom?
I think OD looks the most feminine out of this.
What does that mean?
Darkseer...
What does that even mean,
what?
Jenkins?
You're the one who's assuming it's a negative thing.
That's true. That is true. That's it's conditioning
great.
over
It's great to be feminine, man. Being masculine sucks.
This is a great cast already, guys. I'm so glad that you've tuned into the official ESL One Katowice 2019 powered by Intelcast. They are scouting out, like I said, Limp hiding out here in the trees. So it actually looks like they're going to send Limp into the offlane and put Miracle over here, as we like to call him, with the extra sound to distinguish him from the Miracle.
Yeah. Actually, on Dota Buff, if anybody from Dota Buff is watching, Miracle's picture is the European Miracle, not the Southeast Asian Miracle. So yeah, you gotta get on that. These are two different people.
Very different.
They just have the exact same name. That's all.
It's a very popular name, that Miracle. It's like the John Smith of Dota, I guess.
It's a good name.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to be called that?
I'm gonna change my name to Lelis.
Why would you change it to
Why?
Leposa?
It's a free country.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is. I mean, you could be Leposa, the off-laner extraordinaire, because he's no longer, you know.
That's true. I already am Tavo, according to
according
Wikipedia.
Some nice harass over here on Mount Doom. Z-Freak taking some damage off of Kitrak, but now they know that he's got that Frost Shield for his level 1. And they can kind of abuse it, because it does have a little bit of a higher cooldown. TP comes out, though. It's going to go right down to that bottom lane.
Limp rotates to the mid lane, presuming that the Terrorblade is going to be there, but CCNC is already there on the OD.
Some solo XP down here for Kitrak, but it's not looking so good. I think Kitrak might actually be first blood. And they find him in time. Oh, he's got the salve.
Oh, man, if they could have canceled that, that would be huge.
Adam's looking 3-4-3. He's taking a lot of tower damage there, too. All right. So that's a good good bit of trade between the two supports here. He's probably going to have to pop his salve pretty soon as well. Now this Frost Shield is just so good.
Him out. Yeah, it's really nice, too, just to push out the lane with this, because there's this double wave under the tower. You don't want to get dove. You don't want to take too much extra damage, so sure, sacrifice a couple last hits, but you get the lane out, and now it's pushing into the complexity side, so Test123 can be aggressive here. And they're the ones with the Terrorblade, so if they can... Yeah, if they can have the... actually, he TP's mid.
Yeah, they're trading off again. I guess they... I guess they want the matchup with the Lone Druid here, right?
I think it's definitely got to do with the Timber. They want the Timber... They want to have the Timber in a counter lane. Although that's strange, because OD was against the Timber, so I think you would be fine with that.
They keep swapping everyone around, yeah, I don't know.
So Timber TP's mid. I know Complexity wants a Timber versus Terrorblade, because... You just shred that hero.
Yeah, absolutely.
You completely annihilate this hero. You just have so much magic damage. All AoEs to clears illusions. Terrorblade does all physical damage, so you just cannot take the Timber down.
Gotta hate this Ion Shell too. Gosh.
The cosmetic?
Yeah, I don't like it doesn't look anything like the original. It just looks like a little unfinished polygon. Or not polygon, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah, I got you. I think it's cool.
Oh wow, that's a lot of damage.
No, I like these cosmetics that look silly though, so you should see my pudge. It's ridiculous.
I believe it. Knowing you, I believe it. Double damage gets picked up over onto 3-4-3.
That's a big rune for line, actually.
Waltz right past that Terrorblade. What's he doing? It looks like he's gonna try to fake him out, go back in maybe?
Oh my god, these lane rotations. Timber's level 2, man.
Yeah. Alright, they're coming forward. Uh-oh, Ritsu might be in for a little bit of trouble here. The Hex is going to come out. The follow-up with the Frost Shield, though, coming out from Kitrak. He's going to find some more time. Followed up with a nice Earth Spike. In comes Limp. He's looking for it. Does not have that Timber Chain, though. And they're going to chase him, actually. That's not the way your tower is there, Ritsu. But we'll turn back around, put on a little bit of damage onto Miracle. They're still chasing after Ritsu here. They're looking for him, but they're spending a lot of time on this. Now Miracle resummons the bear. Going to try to push him back, but that's a lot of time that there's no Terrorblade hitting creeps. Pretty good deal, I think.
You know, it's a pretty good deal if you're Lelis in the top lane. You're just glad all of this other stuff is happening.
Yeah.
In the other two lanes, he's just sitting behind the tower, completely free farming, cutting the wave. There's nothing that can be done about this. Of course, Francis is helping him out with this, but they are farming up a storm up here. With everybody being distracted, like there's no supports to really deal with this creep cutting that's happening up here.
There's just been so many lane swaps as well, too.
Yeah.
Is making it very difficult, I think, for them to really accelerate the way that they'd like to.
Well, I like this. Z-Freak is coming to the bot lane, so he's going to be like the X Factor here, where all these lane swaps are happening, and it's 1-for-1. But if Z-Freak is just in this lane, I think they can have the OD versus the Timber, and the Timber's going to do fine, just because with the Coddle, you're always going to...
There's the blast. Beautiful Air Spike comes out. There's going to be the Hex as well. They're going to try to body block a little bit. We've got 5 stacks reactive over here. Immediately, the Banishment comes out, but that's a lot of damage being placed over onto CCNC, and Limp's not even done yet. He's still going for it. He's looking through these trees. He's got 1 point in that key. He's on level 3, but they're still looking for him. In fact, they're going to see him in the lane. They go and they use that fort over there on the creep as well. And CCNC is going to be toast. That's going to be first blood going over to 3-4-3. TPs are coming out, though. They don't want to allow this dive. Flea is actually down here. Limp's still chasing after Kitrak. Kitrak trying to juke himself away in the trees, but the trees are rapidly disappearing. And now Flea, he's got his eyes over onto 3-4-3. He's going to try to run himself out. They've got the Ion Shell, but he's still going to get taken down here. Limp also now going to have to run. CCNC has TP'd right back. And again, nice laser beams coming out from the Kata with the Hex Spike. Carap is going to slow him down, but they'll be able to go throughout the Earth Spike. Couple more hits. They're trying to body block Limp. Limp, he still has that stick. He's going to actually make it out alive. Timber just really difficult to take down early on in the stage.
Yeah, he's thanking the Lord that he went for that second point in reactive. Really coming in handy there. Also going for the wand. A lot of the time you'll like just skip the wand and go for Quelling Blade, maybe like extra regen, something like that, and then you can really regret it, for sure.
There's just not much mana left over on these supports either to do too much. Like, that's another problem with Lich right now, right? And you burn through that mana pretty quickly during laning phase, so you have to have clarities or something. Gonna try to go for that 5-minute rune, though. Kitrak gonna be able to grab a Z-Free Force back. And looks like most of these runes going over to the side of Test123, so that's gotta feel pretty good for them right now.
Yeah, 3 for 1. I think if you... Oh, damn. Okay, so that was another shrine that I heard. Yeah, they're gonna use the shrine together on the bot lane.
Yeah, they're popping it like it's hot there.
Yeah, there's the mana. Gives a bit of percentage of HP and mana regen now too, so it's I think it gives you like slightly more regen.
That is a
Francis
spoiled. That's actually really good for them because 343 had just gone for a smoke and he wasn't able to do anything with it just yet. So mid lane though, looks like we do see some TPs coming through here. Gonna go throw out that Astral Imprisonment over onto the Timber.
Oh my god,
yeah, they've got the
4-man gank.
This is a huge gank. Yeah, that's 4 people over here in the mid lane. They want to take down Limp. They're gonna be able to find it. But that's a huge rotation for just a Timber Saw. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's... The thing is, though, like, it makes sense, though, because they're going to do this lane rotation anyway, so you may as well start off the lane rotation, take, like, 5 seconds and get a kill. So it definitely makes sense, just in the fact that they want to rotate afterwards. Like, Terrorblade, he's just going to go jungle now.
I think he kind of has to. He's been having just too much difficulty facing up with all the rotations coming through.
God, this is always how the Terrorblade... This hero, man, it's like you just lane until you get to a point where you're sick of laning, and then you just go jungle, and 25 minutes into the game, you have like Scotty Manta, and the enemy team cannot kill you.
Yeah, as long as you have people who are going to be able to make space for you.
Yeah, defend towers as well, really important. Like on the spot lane, Kitrak, he's able to use the Frost Shield, which gives the tower that reduction, and then also, man, it just kills creep waves so quickly as well.
Still going to get taken down, though, and that's kind of scary, right? Because Terrorblade really needs his jungle, and that opens up a lot of entry points here. Oh boy, Kitrak, look, he's still trying to get himself away. There's going to be another eliminate. Oh, he's going to make it with 40-something hit points.
It sucks to be a Windlace Lich 7 minutes into the game. That's the life, though.
That's the life. That's
just how she goes.
No, don't manage to get that Earth Spike over there. I feel like with just so many rotations, we're seeing a lot of action, but not necessarily a lot of like kills on them, right?
Yeah, I think that's just because Test123 is like the team that would be on the defensive end of that, and they'd be the ones that are dying, but they're doing a really good job at just saying, I'm not going to let you have the lanes that you want in this game. And I think you're right, by the way, with the fact that Terrorblade wants to have a jungle, but Test123, they look to be pressuring this top lane where Terrorblade can go play around that area now. So I like that they're doing this. They should definitely be focusing on this, on getting this top tower. Otherwise, you can just lose all map control.
Look at 343's positioning. I like this. Like, OD came forward, and I think they were thinking about maybe trying to throw out an Earth Spike or a Hex, but with the rest of the team arriving, I think they're going to back off just a little bit. They do have split available over on that Brewmaster, but I think they're waiting for the right moment.
Yeah, some phase boots, too. Max in the Drunken Brawler. He's got some nice damage, right-click damage.
Yeah, it's Drunken Brawler.
Who is he
Remember
laning?
we were asking about that.
It's weird because
he was top.
They changed. Yeah, he was laning the Darks here. I guess there's no point in getting Thunderclap when you're not using it to like harass anybody in lane. You may as well just get Drunken Brawler and
they canceled.
One hit the Iron Shell creep or something like that.
They canceled out that TP top. Lelis is gonna have a lot of free reign up here. Like he's already had a lot of free reign. Like if you look at CS, he's 88-1
He's got a Dominator. He's got
a Dominator. He's got the Soul Ring and everything.
This Test123 draft is just like straight up a team draft. You have the Darks here, and then with the Terrorblade and the OD. Ooh,
the split, they actually go for it. They're going to go try to jump on this OD immediately. Lelis coming down, going to get you thrown up into that tornado. The Hex is coming through. There's a lot of people down here in the bottom lane. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get this OD out in time. CCNC, he's still stunned up. He's not going to be able to get out. In fact, it's going to be Limp who gets that kill. Now, Lelis still trying to put out as much damage as he can, but he's having some difficulty. Look at the crits coming out from Death right now. He's going to have to surge himself away. They go and try to shut him down, but that Earth Spike just a little bit too premature. 343 will fall, but they do find the kill on the OD. So they lose a support, and they managed to take down one of the cores, and
everybody's so low level at this point because of these lane rotations. You have like a level 5 Timber that's just diving towers. It's the weirdest thing.
It does feel quite odd, but you know, this is space for Ritsu here in the top lane, right? We talked about him wanting to have a place to jungle, and the bottom lane obviously is cut off because the tower is gone, but if you know where they're playing, then you can adjust accordingly and do a lot of mirroring.
Especially if you have this top tower. That was really important that they secured that on Lelis before he went to the bot lane. Francis, he can just press his Spike Carapace. run off.
You still like it's crazy. We're almost 10 minutes in and we don't have like ultimates on people. Look at this one creep. Look at this guy. He works hard for that money, man.
807 movement speed on that creep.
Oh, they get the kill over onto Z-Freak in the top lane, but the Hex comes out here on the bottom lane. They've got their eyes over onto Francis. Limp also a little bit low here. Can they finish him off? Yeah, they'll find it. Lelis is on a killing spree.
Damn, killing the Timber. The thing is, like, with Timber, you want to pick him to be that unkillable, just runs at your face and doesn't die hero. You know, you want him to bait all of the spells. And if you die a couple of times like this, he just can't do that. And the hero doesn't do enough in the late game compared to these like hyper late game heroes like a Terrorblade or an OD or a Lone Druid. You really have to snowball. So it's very scary for complexity if your Timber's so underleveled. Like I think these lane rotations really hurt them more than they thought it would. Like the Timber is just too underleveled. It's gonna be kind of worthless this game.
This is not a typical Limp hero, if I recall correctly.
He's been playing it more recently, which is...
Ooh, oh no, bottom lane. They've got that
shell.
Ion Shell. They've got the Stomp from the center. That is just a very dead Timber. He's died twice now in the course of like a minute and a half. That's a disaster.
Yeah, this hero, when he falls off hard, too.
The Kissy's coming out. Oh, my word.
He's going to be a bit of a liability for his team, to say the least. We basically need him to pick up like a couple of kills in these fights in order to come back online, so to speak.
Francis Lee.
That is the most incorrect. There is no door. But you know there's like a real reason for it. He's just being a dick.
He's just memeing. He's
just memeing.
Yeah. Looks like Death might have to split here. I don't know, right? Because you've got the double Ion Shell again. You've got that Centaur. He's also got the War Stomp. Yeah, he's got the Stomp. And then you've got the Nyx Assassin. I'm thinking we might have to see him split to make it out of this. What do you think?
Yeah, otherwise he's going to take, like... I mean, it's just a tough situation for him. I mean, the thing is, like, he's going to defend this tower regardless if he gets away at 10% HP or if he splits. So he's kind of done his job, but it is a little rough when you're a Brewmaster and you're like, kind of like the strongest hero on your team and you're just having to TP bot and split to defend the tower. This is not really where you want to be.
No, you definitely don't want to be doing it defensively.
You'd kind of prefer the Coddle to be doing this sort of stuff.
Well, here we go. All surged up. They're still putting out some damage on him. And in fact, they actually don't quite do that Impale. So they're just going to leave that Centaur creep. And look at the damage that the Ion Shell does to him.
It does so much damage.
They just kind of leave him there to die. All right.
I think he picked up another creep. Yeah, he did. He got the Inersa. Got that. The new Surge is incredibly strong. Actually, what I was saying with the team draft, the way these guys seem to draft, I don't have any insider info or anything, but I was looking at their drafts, and it seems like they draft this Darkseer hero with heroes that have like movement speed talents and high movement speed. You know, Terrorblade builds into like a Yasha, Sanshin Yasha, or Manta style.
Yeah.
OD builds into Kaya and Yasha, and then also has a movement speed talent. Terrorblade also has a movement speed talent. So if you search these heroes, they go like 1,000 movement speed. It's actually unreal. And that on top of the fact that they are incredibly powerful like glass cannons in the late game. It's just the perfect combo.
Seems like a good strategy.
Yeah, you basically just make your incredibly powerful guy run really quickly.
Hey, Kid Trap, what you doing? Now, there is CCNC nearby, and I don't think
they've through here anymore. Yeah, it's it's really hard to smoke in the mid lane on Radiant now.
Well, they finally take down the mid tower, and it looks like they're still looking for more. And Lelis going to run right into death over here. The Surge comes out, though. He doesn't want to fight into this right now. Waiting for the rest. They do have that wall of replica that's up and running, so they're just going to force him back a little bit. Miracle, of course, having that double damage over on the Lone Druid. Doesn't really want to have to fight himself through that wall, so they'll take it. They'll be happy. That's wall down. They don't have to worry about it. They weren't really that invested in pushing at that point, I don't think, either.
Yeah, that was... They got the tower already, right?
Yeah.
So
I think they thought maybe they wanted to do a little bit more fighting, but I mean, you can
see
you can see Timbers in the bottom lane. You can see the Coddle's top, so they're really not gonna be.
It's interesting that they're like farming the Coddle. You know, people used to do that to like rush the Ags, but the Ags is just complete garbage now because it just gives you the heal.
Yeah. Not as good as it used to be, although they do find themselves 3-4-3. Can he get out in time? He gets a finger off, and he's going to get that kill. He's turned back around. This Will-O-Wisp is just so strong. Followed up with a nice Illuminate, too. That's going to be a very dead flea.
Wow. I mean...
Will-O-Wisp is so strong.
It is. It's very good. It just completely turned that, the Will-O-Wisp with the Panda ulti. It's, you know, it sucks for Test123 that they walk into that and they die, they don't pick up the line. Like, if they kill the line and they get out, I think that's fine just because it's space created for OD and Terrorblade. Losing both of your supports for a rotation like that is definitely pretty rough, especially when you know that the reason that Kitrak wanted to make that rotation is because he has a ward in his inventory. He wanted to go place a ward.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get that down now.
I feel like also, you know, you've got this Lion who, it was looking like he was going to get taken down. So, you know, he goes, he presses his R button. He's hoping just to get that extra damage, which he did, I think, actually pick up. Yeah, I think he's got that.
Yeah, he got it.
That one kill there. So he got the extra damage. But the fact that he also makes it out alive is just icing on the cake, right?
Yeah. That was quite nice. Cost them the Will-O-Wisp cooldown, but I mean, it's not like compLexity are fighting. They look to just want to farm. Surprisingly, like once again, I said that a lot of people would farm on the Coddle hero just because like you build into the Aghanim Scepter and then that's when you would fight. But, like they seem to just value Z-Freak as a player, as a hero, as like a person that they want to have farm. Just because he's like high skill enough that he's going to do a lot with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, that's kind of interesting, right? We've got the battle of these position fours because I would argue as well, like Flea is fantastic if you can get some farm on him. His Naga Siren play, back when she was really, really popular, was like the standard, I think, the gold standard for Naga for support. Like, he was in the right place at the right time. He always managed to find farm. And then Z-Freak is also one of those players that, like, if you give him a little bit of space and he can find it, he is going to make a lot of use out of the farm that he finds and really enable his team. In fact, we've already got that Force Staff picked up, so his positioning is going to be even better. He's going to have that Will-O-Wisp off cooldown, and they're kind of just hiding out in the trees waiting for someone to come forward. In fact, they might find... Oh, nope. CC&C spots out Z-Freak over here on the heels of him trying to TP out, and they should be able to get this kill, but everyone else has made it out already.
That's nice little pickup, but that's not... When you go for a rotation like that, that's not really what you want if you're Test123. It's just a Coddle. He is pretty farmed, but...
Oh boy, 343 now, in for some trouble.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just getting chased down by all the Terrorblade. What?
Ritsu's huge, man.
Ritsu literally is actually huge, but also, you know, I like when he gets turned into a fish and he just rolls around in a hamster ball.
Yeah.
That's his,
just like super speedy too. Running at 1,000 movement speed. Although wait, it would amplify the fish movement speed, so maybe he'll...
He was a swift fish.
He would still be a relatively swift fish, just not the swiftest of fish.
That seems like that would be a good avatar name, right? Swift fish? The swiftest fish? Swiftiest fish?
Yeah, we were doing tongue twisters earlier. That's a hard one.
There we go.
Swiftest of fish.
We'll add that into the repertoire for
Ritsu, the swiftest of fish. Goodness gracious. He was a fast little fish, that's for sure. Almost as his Manta style. That's pretty good this game against the Coddle Blinding Light. It's basically necessary to take fights as Terrorblade versus Coddle.
This is the Terrorblade special though, right? Because, you know, he had a hard time laning. They're constantly, you know, rotating the Terrorblade up against him as well. But he just recovers. This hero just, you know, you make enough space and he will just come online and be just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, that's kind of like the issue in balancing this hero is that...
Ooh, mid lane. They find a kill over on Lelis.
That's a huge kill. Lelis is
he was the top of the
literally
network.
The top network in this game. So.
Oh, and they also find a kill on Z-Freak. What? Wow, that's just dove right behind that tier 2. All right, that works. I haven't seen a Chain Frost come out from Kitrak just yet here at all. Oh, Clarity immediately canceled out by Limp. They make their way, but looks like they're trading. Yeah, they trade the towers. They take that one, and they don't really.
They don't
do the bear.
They don't really do anything to the mid tower just because it's so hard to push into a Lich with the new Frost armor.
Yeah, I mean they have the bear, which rips through buildings a little bit easier.
It's just the fact that like not only does it protect towers even more than it did before, it also slows the enemies and does damage, clearing the creeps. And if the creeps have vision of you on Lich, it will pull the creeps to you. So it pulls the creeps as well, which is one of the main things you want in a support that can defend towers. If you can just pull the creeps away, you're golden. So it's just so good. It's so good. I love this hero.
I love it when I'm the one playing.
Yes.
You don't have to have it on the enemy team, and all of a sudden there's just like, come hither with a sinister glare.
Right.
Like, yikes. Yikes. But difference in team net worth right now, it's very much neck and neck, right? We've an 18-minute game. It feels kind of unreal that they're so close. Same thing in experience earned right now.
Yeah, Miracle's just been farming this whole time. Hasn't really contributed all that much outside of pressuring towers, but he has been farming a lot.
All right, they're going for this bottom tower, though. Look at that Frost Shield over here on that creep. Look at how much it cleans off these creeps. Oh, my word. And the haste it up. They're trying to take the bear. The roar will come out, though. Should be able to take down Spirit Bear, though. Get 300 gold. Immediately resummons, though. And they're just going to walk away. They're not looking to be too fussed about this at this time. Although I am concerned about the Timber, right? Because he, you know, he wasn't having a super great time earlier. And like we said, he needs to kind of snowball to be very, very effective. He's one of those heroes that eats up space as well, so.
Yeah, he takes creep waves, pushes them out, so your team's not going to get as much. Yeah, that's just one issue with this hero is that, you know, he's not snowballing, so his contribution will essentially be, he's a pretty regular like DPS hero, you know, except without a huge amount of carry potential. Because the way that he carries games is he just tanks up and the enemy team can't kill him.
Yeah.
The enemy, like you need a gold lead in order to be at that point, and he does not have one. So it's rough for him, but he'll still contribute. He'll still do damage. He'll still, because his team is still very strong. They're relying very heavily on this lone druid though, because when Timber falls off like this, you basically have 2 offlaners.
All right, we do get an initiation over here. Lion, he goes and he uses that finger maybe a little bit early. They've got that Chain Frost, though, bouncing around. Does a decent amount of damage here.
Slow.
Look at the slow, though, and the Will-O-Wisp on top of that, but it's just a little bit off the mark there. I think they might have wanted to open up with that. Now, Flea finds himself getting slowed down a little bit. They've got their eyes over here on the OD as well. Stone will get thrown, and he'll go right back together here over on the Panda. They're casual impale, but that's not how they wanted that to go. I was thinking, oh boy, over here, Miracle finds himself this Lich. The root comes out, needs just a little bit more damage. They've got that Sinister Gaze. Kitrek's totally dead, though.
Finally, Miracle shows up to a fight, and he looks really, really strong. Yeah, a lot of spells were actually off the mark in that fight. I think that was one of those awkward situations where both teams kind of play spells, enemy team runs away, and it's like, okay, well, they have no spells, but we have no spells. Do we really want to fight? And they were unsure, and the Miracle just runs in. He's like, yeah, we want to fight.
Well, this opens up the door for them so easily now. They can take this tower. They know that a lot of these spells are on cooldown. They have nothing to fear with this. And it works out pretty well. Over here, though, Flea's going to immediately use that Spike Carapace into the Illuminate with the Vendetta, but the Force Staff coming out from Z-Freak buys him some more time here. There's going to be the Surge going backwards, 3-4-3, and for a little bit of trouble now, Flea turning back around, he gets the Impale, and Lilith will get that kill. And while all this is going on, Mr. CCNC gets himself an... Wait.
Yeah,
he got the Aegis bow.
They killed it with just Terrorblade and OD. They just do so much damage. Although Ritsu, but it's a brew. I mean, he does all physical damage.
He just turns around. He's gonna thunder him. No problem.
Terrorblade's. What? How did that happen? What just happened?
I don't know.
Oh man, that is not the hero that you want to die right now.
Fight recap.
He was just out of position on the bot lane. He just got caught out by. Yeah, Lich just gazed him. OD just jumps on him, blows him up. Doesn't even have to use the sanity.
That is. Oof.
Like we talked about it. The Timber, the Panda, they're both offlaners at this point, just because of how this game has snowballed against them. And the entire complexity draft is depending on this lone druid. If he dies like that one more time.
Look at how fast Flea is. Oh my gosh. Scouting out. He's looking. Will immediately use the Spike Carapace. They've got the dust. They know that he's nearby. Impale's going to land onto 2 different people that they'll follow up. They've got that Spear though coming out with the Will-O-Wisp. Trying to buy him a little bit more time here. Lim's still trying to run himself out, but he doesn't have much for mana here. It looks like he's going to get taken down. CCNC is dominating, and they're still hot in pursuit right now. They don't have any way to really catch this Coddle, though. He's definitely farther ahead, although CCNC does have that blink. He's looking to see if he can catch up, but I think he's just out at this point.
It's close, but...
It's very, very close. That Force Staff, too, though, coming in handy.
Yeah, definitely. Although...
Good pickup.
The thing is, it is a bit rough though, like when you're just using this hero that you've had farm just to keep you alive, right? Like you're still when you like take a fight like that and the Coddle escapes, you're still getting pushed out of the area. You're still allowing Test123 to get what they want, which is to like secure the area and position themselves like on this hill around the tower. Like that's really the point of that movement. So it's definitely a little rough if you're complexity. Surprisingly, like the net worth isn't hugely in favor of Test123, but I think given the heroes that they have, the game is. Unless you do this.
Yep, that's a very dead Stan King. Sorry, not Stan King, Flea. Oh gosh, because he always keeps that.
He's got the spirit.
He always, yeah, the spirit of Stan King.
It's the spirit of Stan King. I wonder if he'll come back to Dota. Everybody always comes back. He always retires. Like, I'm done with this. I think
he's pretty happy with his new life, though, from what I understand.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But the thing is, you know, true happiness is only accomplished by winning TI.
Yikes! There's a lot of people that have never experienced true happiness.
Yeah. It's like people are like, you know, giving birth and whatever. Nah, it doesn't matter. Win a TI before you talk, buddy. I don't want to hear about your kids, you know?
Wow. Savage Jenkins over here.
I'm just joshing hard.
And this TB has taken over the net worth now, though. 13k, 12k over on the Lone Druid, and 11 on the Dark here. And they look like they want to make some moves on this Cuddle. They know Z-Freak's here. There's Blink forward, immediately throwing out that Astral Imprisonment. Lich standing nearby does manage to pull himself closer to this Lion, but Blinding Light coming through as well. Got a little bit of that Chain Frost bounce, but they're still chasing after Z-Freak. They drop the hammer here, and he actually makes it out, but they take down 3-4-3. And they did use that Chain Frost to help secure that kill.
You can see how good the Blinding Light is against this Radiant lineup.
His whole kit is just so good now, I feel. Coddle is...
It's an amazing...
You're a good Coddle player. This is your patch, man.
I'm glad Europe was playing this hero in the qualifiers because nobody else was.
Death gets caught out over here. They even go and they use the wall on top of it. They're still... Look at the little flappy wings on CC&C when he's all surged up. That's great. TPs are coming out, though, at Mass Miracle. They've got that Will-O-Wisp. They've got the Rise over onto Kid Track. They'll be able to get that kill. And they'll be forcing everyone else back. Although they use the Panda Split, they've got the Rise over onto Flea. They actually go and they use that Tornado followed up with that stump. It's not going to quite connect over here. Spike Carapace comes through. CC&C, he goes, he throws out the save. They're all just waiting patiently. They've got that try. Nice vacuum coming through.
Nice
but what a stud coming through. In comes Terrorblade, though. Ritsu just going and shredding through people. But the rest of the side, it looks like Miracle trying to run himself away. And now Death also. Look at all this damage being thrown out with the Scotty being online here on that Terrorblade. They're all just
totally out of position.
They don't want to be there here. And now, yeah, Limp is stuck in the trees. He is dead. One more hit.
I thought you guys were my friends. Why'd you leave me? Yeah, that sucks to be him.
Now you know what it's like playing support with all your teammates. You're just like, nope, bye. Yikes.
We're out of here.
Yeah.
I think Ritsu needs a Blink Dagger. Okay, he's got one queued up. Yeah, he for sure needs a Blink Dagger to get on top of the Lone Druid, to deal with the fact that he's going to get... Well, he needs to get on top of the...
He's jacked, though. Like,
yeah,
look at his items.
He does a lot of damage. I could even see Terrorblade, you know, in this game maybe going for, like, not going for the Blink Dagger and just saying, okay, I'm just going to hit buildings. But he does want to go for the Blink. I think that's good, too, if you want to fight.
Liking all these sentry placements. Aegis will get reclaimed, though. I don't think they really needed it in the first place.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a little insurance policy.
It's weird, though, because, like, the net worth is not hugely... At least
I mean, it's going up a little bit.
It is.
Test123.
It is now, but like for the last 5
even.
minutes, it's been relatively even.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't feel like it. It's just the heroes and the farm distribution on complexity. Like when you have a Coddle with all this farm, what does it do with new Coddle? The 4-staff has been saving them. They're just escaping from certain death. That, you know, if they go back in, like he's just going to need to keep using it to get out. And it's like they're not killing him, but they're accomplishing what they want to accomplish.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the Will-O-Wisp is just being used way too defensively all the time. I would like to see it be a little bit more aggressive, although they do find themselves this OD, and that's a lot of damage being thrown out, and that's a lot of, what is that? That's an unstoppable 6 kill streak.
Yeah, that was, he is super out of position. Ooh, they have the, do they have the AoE surge? No, how, okay, they're all just really fast. He just surged the,
I don't think he's got that set, level 20.
Little Nyx, yeah.
Yeah, they're speedy. They're speedy boys. And oh, look at this intel that Flea's giving. They know that Death is here. Immediately Vendetta follow him with the Spirit Vessel. They'll throw out the Chain Frost even on top of it just to make sure that they can take him down.
It's so convenient to have a camp right next to you when you have the Chain Frost. And like Panda just puts himself out of position conveniently right next to a camp that you can bounce the Chain Frost off of. Yeah, that was just nice scouting by Flea. And I like that they're occupying that area, even though they know CC is dead, and it's a lot less safe for them to do that. But if they give up control of that area, then they could... It's arguably worse than the risk of just losing like a Francis, you know? You don't want to give up control of this area when you're winning the game.
Oh yeah, because it starts to allow them to have more resources, and...
Yeah, exactly.
That's when they start to, you know, don't call it a comeback, but...
They can actually farm.
Right.
Like, if they're controlling the enemy jungle, you can just limit the enemy team's farm completely. So I like that even though they were down 1, they were still playing aggressive. Like they know that they're strong. See, look how Miracle has to jungle this. He's hitting from the goddamn low ground. Like you never want to be doing that. Then he just has to walk away.
It's too scary. It's too scary because, you know, you have this threat of Flea. You never know where he is. And, you know, granted they have been trying to put out wards and keep up as best they can, but it's very scary for any of them to go in there.
Test123 needs to get through here and deward this. Loveless. Oh, he did it. Well, there you go.
Easy peasy.
Quelling Blade. Still has the Quelling. Nice for little D-ward plays.
Sentry on action over there in the woods. All right, we've got a BKB online for our OD. We've got a Blink Dagger. CCNC is going to be feeling pretty funky fresh right now.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling himself. He can just go ham in the next fight with the BKB. There's really nothing to. There's actually nothing. The Entangled doesn't go through BKB anymore, right?
Nope. That's why BKB got a huge buff with this last patch.
Right. So there's just nothing. He can just go in and go absolutely crazy. He probably wishes he did it with this Arcane Rune, but alas, you know, things can't be perfect.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't always get what you want.
Yeah.
All right, they're waiting. They're like, oh, hey, what's this Timber Saw? Now, this is kind of scary, though, because they are going up onto the high ground. Oh, nice jump forward there from Flea. They'll throw out that Frost Shield again. They'll actually go and use the split. They've got their eyes over here on CCNC, and Italian uses the finger in the background, though. Wants to take this kill over onto Flea. Flea going to have to use that Spike Carapace. Now, the OD's still in trouble over here.
Oh, that was so nice.
He's being surrounded, and they get the blink out, though, over there.
Dude, Flea, good God. He just baited the entire enemy team while Bruce Split was being wasted.
What is happening during this fight? Like, they went and committed, like, quite a bit on it, and then they just walked out.
I think they can just go, like, Roche or Rax right now. I think they could actually run down mid and just Rax.
They already use Split. They use Finger. They've got Will-O-Wisp, I guess, but, like, that's... Oh, and now they found themselves limp again. Their Spike Carapace coming out from Flea. They follow up with that damage from that Spirit Vessel, and they throw out the Astral Impernicent and throwing out again. Fear will come out from the bear, but there's a jump forward coming out from Ritsu. They've got their eyes on Miracle, and that Blink Dagger paying off in
70 seconds.
He is down. He has no buyback. So they're just going to be able to go push down this tower. They've got that meta up and running. They've got a full duration for the most part. I don't know how they do this. Look at the blink forward. This Flea is just so aggressive on this hero. Just trying to make as much space, pushing them back. Nice vacuum into the wall here. They're going to go and looks like, oh man, Z-Freak is in for a lot. But he just evaporates. And they're still on the chase. Chain Frost doing a decent amount of damage. And it sounds like they threw out that Will. It was a Fear pulling him back in, though. They're going to be able to take down Limp. Limp does have buyback, but he needs the rest of his team. That's the GG call.
Dude, Flea is a god. That was completely... It looks like it's the cores that just won that game for them because, like, they did the damage and, like, the cool stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That everybody... all the flashy stuff, but... Flea distracting the entire enemy team with that Panda Split going off. Like, he basically separated the fight into two parts. One part where the Panda Split was just getting kited by his entire team, and then another part where he was kiting the enemy team. And then just, like, he blinks out, survives, sets up on the Timber Saw, which allows Ritsu to set up on the Lone Druid, because once you go on somebody, the enemy team's going to reveal their position, because it's like, oh, we need to save this guy. Mm-hmm. Joke's on you. You're the guy that we wanted to kill. Like, that was... Whew, that was some nice supporting, man. I'm glad we were hyping Flea up at the start of that, because that was completely him. That was amazing. That was
he's it definitely, you know, that's one of the nice things about seeing Flea on heroes like this is he's able to get a lot of intel when he's moving around the map. And you know, Coddle is still, you know, Z-Freak's still a great, you know, position for, but just it felt like he wasn't able to get as much done, especially because he had to use the Will-O-Wisp so defensively half the time.
Yeah,
that's not really how they wanted to play that. I think they were really hoping that, you know, they could use it a bit more defensively. You know, Lion trying to secure these kills isn't getting that bonus damage though, because a lot of the times, you know, he's not actually getting the final hit off, unfortunately, because they just started to get very, very desperate about it.
Yeah, I think the name of the game for me for compLexity is just the fact that they were playing so defensively the whole time. They were farming on the Lone Druid, and the thing is, I guess that's what happens as a result of having this Timbersaw hero and being killable. It's that you just end up having Brewmaster and Timbersaw that are effectively both offlaners, and then Lone Druid is like, all right, guys, who's making space for me? Somebody else has to be strong in this game, right? Mm-hmm. But nobody is, so he just safely farms. Keeper of the Light safely farms. Lion kind of tries to do his thing, but like you said, he's not really able to get those finger kills. Yeah, it's just it's really rough, and I think it definitely boils down to if we're talking draft, there's like different ways that you can look at it, but definitely if you're talking draft, I think taking the Timber and not banning out the OD immediately was 100% a mistake, especially when CCNC is on the enemy team. That's almost always what you would see when you have this second to last pick Timber. So it would be Timber and then immediately ban the OD because it's the only thing that makes him really like completely killable in the game. And if they pick an Ember, so what? It's like you can still be unkillable if you get enough items. Against an OD, if OD's ahead, he's going to shred you. There's nothing you can do.
And that definitely answers my question too, because they did the first pick Terrorblade. I was concerned that, you know, is that going to be countered? Is that going to be too much of an issue? But I mean, looking at the draft that they came out with here, it made a lot of space. They were able to shuffle it around so many times that it actually worked out perfectly. I mean, where Ritsu was able to get what he needed.
I think this speaks volumes to me about how Terrorblade is in Dota right now. Like, he had 7,700 hero damage, which is basically nothing. Kitrak on the Lich did 6,600, so almost as much as the Terrorblade. But really, all the Terrorblade needs to do is be the hero that's the highest level in the game, know that the enemy team is thinking that, like, okay, this hero needs to be dealt with, or else at a certain point, he's going to basically be unkillable and take all of our towers. Like, well, if you look at tower damage, it's going to be a different story, right? He did, the large majority of the tower damage, 9.4k tower damage. So, like, that's really the way that this hero carries the game, is he just says, okay, I'm never going to fight you, but eventually I will, and I'm going to be so much huger than you that you can't fight, and then I'll take your entire base.
I mean, it is an objective-based game at the end of the day.
It is, yeah.
But this is a best-of-3 series, guys, so we are going to take a short break. We'll come back with game number 2, so stick around because this is some pretty high-VNA Dota.